My friends and fellow metalheads, what is up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new pickups video. Today, I'm going to be showing you all my February break pickups. So, for those who don't know, February break is basically a week off from school that I get every February, and I just had it 2 weeks ago, and I was able to go record shopping. I visited my favorite record store, which I'll give a shout out at the end of the video, and I got 4 used original copies of albums there, and I got 1 new vinyl as well from Target. And for that new release that I got, I'm gonna save it till the end of the video because I know a lot of people have been talking about this album. It's kind of been the rave going on in the Kiss camp. You already know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna save it for later. So without further ado, let's get this started with the original copies. We're gonna start off with the cassettes. Starting off, we got Queensryche's The Warning. This is their first full-length studio album from 1984, and this is an original cassette copy. Um, I'm so happy to finally own this in physical form because The Warning was actually the last Queensryche album that I got into from like the classic era. I got into Queensryche through Mindcrime, and then I went to Empire, and then I went to I went from Mindcrime to Empire to the EP to Rage for Order, and then this. So yeah, I kind of went all over the place when discovering the classic era of Queensryche, but I wish I got into this album much sooner because this album is fantastic. Like, there's so many good songs on here. I think it's a nice transition from the EP because you have a mixture of what they've done already and a mixture of what they're gonna soon be doing. Like, it's a mixture of the the traditional metal sound, like the Judas Priest Iron Maiden sound that they had on the EP, and a little bit of the progressive side and epicness that we'll see on future albums. Some of my favorite tracks on here is Deliverance, Take Hold of the Flame, obviously. Roads to Madness is just epic. Child of Fire is awesome. Before the Storm is really good. But my favorite track on here is No Sanctuary. It's a beautiful ballad, and I love it. Queensryche, The Warning. Great album. The other cassette that I got from the record store is Dio with Sacred Heart. Finally, I got a Dio album in my collection. I don't know, man. It took me forever to finally get Dio in my collection because every time I go to a record store, I have a hard time finding his albums, and when I do find them, they're like wicked expensive because it's always the remasters that I find, and people want like 40 or 50 bucks for like, the Donington 87 show or the Hammersmith 93 show. It's ridiculous. They want so much money for them on vinyl and CD. So I was able to find this cassette, fortunately, for Sacred Heart. Now, although this was like the dipping point in Dio's career, like this album did well for him. It went gold, but there was a lot of tensions in the band. Dio just went through a divorce with his wife, Wendy Dio, and that made him kind of unbearable in the studio. Vivian Campbell was having problems with him, hence why he left halfway through the tour and he got Craig Goldie from Rough Cut. But considering all the circumstances they went through, I think they made a pretty good album. It's not as good as the first two, I'll admit that immediately, but it still has some good songs on there. Actually, it was this album that got me into Dio, which might be a shock to some of you, but let me explain. Let's go through the track listing, actually. Starts off with one of my favorite Dio songs, King of Rock and Roll. I think is an amazing track. Great way to open the album. Traditional metal at its finest. Sacred Heart, the title track, is kind of boring, not gonna lie. It's repetitive and doesn't really do much for me. Another Lie is kind of the same thing. It's not bad, but it doesn't stick out. Rock and Roll Children, I know Dio was very proud of that one. I like Rock and Roll Children, not as much as Dio, but I think it's a pretty good song, and I do like that video with like the two teenagers rebelling against their parents and society from like that time in the 80s, like the conformists versus the metalheads. Like, that was pretty cool. Then we get to Hungry for Heaven, my favorite track. This is the song that got me into Dio. Now I know some of you in the comments are gonna be like, "What? That got you into Dio?" Yeah, man. I remember I was listening to a Sirius XM radio station called Ozzy's Boneyard a few years back. I just had them on in the background, and they played Hungry for Heaven" from Dio. I was like, "Dang, this is good!" Like it's very catchy, kind of commercial, but yet it has, I don't know, like the verses. I love that riff during the verses, that crunch that Vivian Campbell has on his guitar. It sounds great. And then like the pre-chorus, like with the "Just Hold On" with the keyboards, like it's just so catchy, man. I love that song, and amazing solo, by the way. But yeah, "Hungry for Heaven's" my favorite song. Like "The Beat of a Heart," I love this song as well. I know some people accuse it to be like, kind of like a rip off of "Straight Through the Heart," but I don't care. It's still a good song, just like "Straight Through the Heart." "Just Another Day" is the last great song on this album. It's another traditional metal tune, and I don't think they ever played it live, unfortunately. So it's a great deep cut. But then the album falls flat with the last two songs. "Fallen Angels" filler, and "Shoot Shoot," although it is catchy, it's annoyingly catchy because I don't know, like they keep repeating the chorus over and over again with the "shoot shoot," and it does stick in your head, but not in a good way. You know what I mean? But anyways, Dio Sacred Heart, good album, not as good as the first two, but still, it's part of the classic Dio era. Recommended. So that does it for the cassettes. Now we head on to the only CD that I got during this break, and that is Anthrax's "I'm the Man" EP from '87. Glad to finally get this in my collection. I saw this at the record store the last few times I went, and I was always considering buying it, even though uh, it's not like a full-on album. It's an EP, or even like technically like a single, I guess. I decided to pull the trigger this time because I want to get more Anthrax in my collection, and plus I couldn't pass up on these B-sides, which I'll discuss in a minute. But anyways, "I'm the Man" really kind of broke Anthrax a little bit. They were already gaining momentum with "Among the Living," with Indians being on MTV, and when this came out, it kind of made them big a little bit, and they were actually on the heels of Metallica, and they kind of kept that momentum with "Save Euphoria," but then by the time "Persistence of Time" came out, they fell back down to the bottom of the big four. I don't know what happened. I guess probably because "Seasons in the Abyss" and "Rust in Peace" are better than Persistence of Time, but I don't know what happened, man. But anyways, enough of that. Let's go back to this. "I'm the Man." It's them experimenting with rap, as you can obviously see on the cover, with like the graffiti wall, and them dressed up like Run DMC with like the hats and the top hats, and what do you call it, the track suit or jogging suits. But it's a funny song. It's not meant to be taken seriously. I laugh my ass off every time when Frank Bello sings the chorus, when he says, I'm the man, I am so bad, I need attention." Cracks me up every time. Um, Joey Belladonna does a good job on the drums. Like, I'm surprised he's actually able to play drums. Um, I actually do like the pre-chorus before the chorus, like where the guitars come in. I thought that part was pretty cool. But yeah, and I like the little references here and there, like they mention El Duce from the Mentors, and they put a little sample of Master of Puppets randomly in here. Like all you hear for a second is like "Master." I thought that was funny, but yeah, "I'm the Man's" a funny song. And as for the B-sides, it has two versions of "I'm the Man" on here, the censored and uncensored version. And then it has a kick-ass cover of "Sabbath Bloody Sabbath," "Sabbath Bloody Sabbath." Sheesh, if I can talk today, sorry. Which Joey Belladonna does a great job singing at. And I like at the end, they play, oh shoot, what do they play at the end? Ah, crap, they played another Sabbath song. Oh, "Sweet Leaf." They played "Sweet Leaf" at the end, I think, which was kind of neat. Then the live stuff on here, "I'm the Man" live, still funny live. They have the crowd say "Suck my motherfucking dick." They have the crowd chant that. It's kind of funny. Um, and they have Con the Mosh Live, which kicks ass, and I Am the Law Live, which kicks ass. And I believe these live tracks are from Dallas '87, because I think Joey says, "All right, Dallas," and this and that. But yeah, I'm the man from Anthrax. Nice little EP. Now we get to the vinyl of all the original copies I have, and this is a very you guys already saw it. All right, screw it. Here you go, Black Sabbath, 7-star. I was trying to build up like a drum roll thing introducing it, but my camera accidentally showed it in the corner. That's whatever. Anyways, Black Sabbath 7-star from 1986. This is an underrated album. I love this album. And has such a cool story behind it with like all the stuff that was going on at the time. So let me give you some backstory on this, okay? After the Born Again tour, Ian Gillan and well, actually, even before that, before the Born Again tour, Bill Ward left Black Sabbath for like the third time. And they got the guy from Foreigner, I think, on drums. And they did the Born Again tour. The album did okay, but not as good as the previous two with Dio. They were playing slightly smaller venues, and they were losing momentum against Ozzy. So after the album, Ian Gillan left, and Geezer Butler left. So this left Tony all by himself, and started working on the next Black Sabbath album. And he claims that this was supposed to be a solo project, hence why it says featuring Tony Iommi on the cover, but I have done research and watched videos that prove that statement wrong, because in 1984 and 1985, Black Sabbath were looking for new singers, and they auditioned and came close to hiring Ron Keel of Steeler and Keel. And there's, I don't know where it is, I think it's somewhere on YouTube, an MTV news clip. Sorry, house phone in the background. Sorry. There's a There's an MTV news clip where it announces that the next singer of Black Sabbath is going to be Ron Keel, not Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath. And then I don't know what happened. It kind of fell apart with Ron Keel, and then they got another guy, which I forget his name. He was a televangelist, I think, or Jesus Christ Superstar guy. And they actually did a full-on demo with him, finished demo called, what's the name of that demo? The Star of India. The Star of India. And it's basically this material, just with different lyrics. So Tony was starting to work on this material since 84, 85, when it was called Black Sabbath. Then they did the whole Live Aid and did a small reunion with the original lineup that didn't really go anywhere afterwards. And that left Tony back by himself again. So he tried to get... This is where he starts claiming that he wanted to do a solo project. He wanted to try to get an all-star group of singers to sing on here, like Glenn Hughes, Robert Plant, and Rob Halford. Well, actually not Robert Plant, David Coverdale and Rob Halford, but due to contracts, he was only able to get Glenn Hughes, which, hey, it's better than nothing. Glenn Hughes is an amazing singer, and he soars on this album. But anyways, before I go into the songs, I know I'm kind of ranting, kind of babbling a lot, but I want to try to extend this video. Last piece of proof that this was not intentionally a solo album was Tony Iommi in 1980, late 85, early 86, bought the rights to the name Black Sabbath. Why would you buy millions of dollars worth of name rights of the band when you weren't even going to use it for a solo album? Hence why I think the whole thing of Tony Iommi saying it was supposed to be a solo album is false. And it was originally a Black Sabbath album. The only reason why I think he was calling it a solo album was the different musical direction, because this was definitely a change in Black Sabbath's sound. Black Sabbath were changing their sound all the time through the 70s and early 80s, but this one is different. 7-star kind of it has more of a blues influence mixed with modern metal at the time. So there's like you got the bluesy singing of Glenn Hughes and the slow bluesy jammy tracks like Hard Like a Wheel and Angry Heart, but yet you have some fast traditional speed metal type songs like In for the Kill and Turn to Stone. So uh it's like a mixture of blues and metal at the time. So anyways, let's get into the songs finally. The album starts off great with In for the Kill, great song. No Stranger to Love. I know a lot of people crap on it, but I love that ballad. Glenn Hughes is the shining highlight on it. He has so much power in his voice, and it's amazing. Turn to Stone, another killer tune, fast again. Then it goes into Sphinx, the Guardian, which is a little instrumental leading up to probably my favorite track on the album, Seventh Star. This is the song that resembles the. Hold on, how do I say that? The title track Seventh Star is the song that comes the closest to sounding like 70s Sabbath. It's kind of doomy a little bit, slow, builds up tension and stuff. It's epic. And once again, Glenn Hughes soars on it. And also, I want to give a little shout out to Eric Singer, uh, future Kiss drummer, playing on this album. He pounds those drums during the title track, and it sounds great. Flip the other side too, Danger Zone, another killer tune. Hard Like a Wheel, more bluesy, more kind of slow and stuff, but has an amazing solo from Tony on here. Angry Heart is a badass song. I love the keyboards in it. It kind of reminds me of Rainbow a little bit, but which kind of makes sense since Glenn Hughes was in Rainbow in the 70s. And then it ends with In Memory, which is a nice little sad acoustic ballad that Tony wrote for his father who died during the recording session. So it's a great album, man. No bad songs at all. You guys need to check it out. If you guys are like casual Black Sabbath fans or actually, you know what? If you guys are fans of the Dio era Sabbath but didn't venture past it, check this album out. You might like it. Or if you're just into 80s traditional metal, just check out this album and I think you might enjoy it. But anyways, yeah. Uh the Seventh Star from Black Sabbath. Now the last album that I'm going to show you, the new release and the one that everybody's been talking about in the Kiss Army Bandcamp. Ace Frehley's new album, 10,000 Volts. This is the colored vinyl version from Target that I got. And I'll show you in a second. But yeah, this came out on February 23rd, and it has been the talking point for the last couple weeks, like I said. This is Ace's first new album since 2020, I think, or no, 2020 Origins Volume 2. And that was all covered. So I think the last original album that he made was Spaceman from 2018, which I also have. But yeah, here's the sleeve, and let me get the hype sticker out for you. There it is. Now, Ace was hyping this album up to hell. He was saying that it's as good as the 78 solo album. It's gonna make Paul and Gene feel embarrassed and this and that, and he hyped it up, man. Like I was looking forward to this. I was like, dang, all right, as good as the 78 solo album. Let's hear this. I didn't buy this on the first day it came out because on the day it came out, I was busy and stuff, and I didn't get a chance to go to I didn't get a chance to go to my local record store. I went the next day, and literally it was sold out. Like I went to not only my local record store, but I went to Walmart, Target. Where else did I go? I think it was those. Yeah, I went to 3 stores and it was sold out everywhere. I was like, dang. But I had to order this off of Target's website, and luckily it came in a couple days ago, and it sounds great on the turntable. But I did hear it though digitally before on the day it came out, and hold on, let me get the vinyl out quickly. Hold on. There it is. Pretty cool. Anyways, let's talk about the album. My first thoughts when I listened to this album was, it's okay. It's not terrible, but it's nowhere close to the 78 Soul album. Hell, it's not even close to Frehley's Comment or Trouble Walking. But I don't say that it's crap, because there are a few songs that I enjoy on here. And that's why I've been seeing a lot lately, like a lot of Kiss YouTubers have been complaining that it's like, oh, it's shit, it's terrible, there's only one or two good songs on here, the rest of it's crap and stuff. I'm not really in that same field. Like I said, I enjoy it more than just one to two songs. I enjoy about like four or five on here. But yeah, I think I am a little bit let down by the standards that Ace had up. So anyways, let's get into this track by track. The album starts off with 10,000 Volts. Kick-ass song. They released this was the first single that came out back in November, I believe, and this got me hyped up. Like between Ace saying that's gonna put Paul and Gene to shame, and he releases that, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. Hard rocking tune, catchy, and great solo from Ace, and also good video as well. I like the video where they're performing and stuff. Then it goes into Walkie on the Moon. Uh, this song kind of screams filler to me. It has a cool main riff, but the chorus is kind of weak. It doesn't catch me that much, and the solo isn't that great, and the video is just stupid. Sorry. Cosmic Heart. Now we're back on track. I do enjoy this track. It's a little bit heavy. Ace sounds kind of good on here, but a little bit lazy. And I'll get to that in a little bit about Ace's vocals on this album being lazy. But Cosmic Heart is a good song. Then we get to Cherry Medicine. I know a lot of you shit on it, but I actually don't mind Cherry Medicine. I wouldn't say I love it, but I say it's not a bad track. Like, it starts off with a crunchy riff. The verses are a little bit weak, I gotta admit that, but the chorus is an earworm. It's very catchy, very melodic, and it will stick in your head after listening to it. It's probably the most catchiest song on the album, not gonna lie. Video is kind of funny as well, where they're playing in a party and stuff, and it's kind of funny. Uh, but yeah, Cherry Medicine's not a bad song. Then we go into Back Into My Arms Again, which goes all the way back to the Frehley's Comet days. This was one of the songs that he demoed for the album, and it didn't make it, and it doesn't do much for me, to be honest. Sorry. It's kind of like a ballad in a little bit, but I don't know, man. It just doesn't do much for me, and that's a very decisive song. Like, I've seen like a lot of people love the fact that he actually put it on here, and some people just hate it. I don't hate it, but I'm like, it doesn't do anything for me. Now we get into the best track, Fighting for Life. Love this song. This was a surprise. After, like, these mid-tempo rockers and stuff, I'm like, all right, Ace, not too bad, you're doing all right. And then when this came on, I was like, yes, finally something upbeat. And Ace actually sounds good on here. He has like a little bit of attitude in his voice. I love the lyrics. Kind of tells a story a little bit about a kid dropping out of school and going into the music scene. And I love the chorus stuff. Fighting for life, fighting for life. It's a kick-ass song, and I gotta say, this song might be a contender for my top 10 Ace Frehley songs. I have to think about it. I might put it up there in my top 10 Ace Frehley songs. It's definitely his best song since any material off of Trouble Walking. But yeah, awesome song. Love Fighting for Life. Then we get into Blinded. And middle of the road. It has its pros and cons. The pros are it's a change of pace for the album. It's like, hold on, I don't know what it says. Lyric wise, it's a change of pace. Because if you guys notice, most of this album is about Ace singing about women and girls and stuff. And honestly, you kind of get tired when you hear a majority of the album singing about girls from a 72-year-old man. It's kind of creepy, to be honest, but at least with this song, it talks about more political and modern lyrics about like, how technology's taking over us and stuff, and it go alongside with Ace's makeup persona with science and stuff. But besides the lyrics and stuff, the song doesn't really do that much for me. Sorry. It's not bad, but it just doesn't stand out. Then we get into the worst song on the album, Constantly Cued. What the hell was he thinking with this? Lazy singing. I'm going to bring it up now. Ace's vocals on this album have issues. Like, it seems like some songs he's on autopilot. It seems like he's not giving it at all, or even trying. And I noticed that he might be using autotune on this album, not gonna lie, or some kind of effect, because his voice does sound a little bit compressed or robotic at times. Like, it reminds me of Ozzy's last two albums, and it's kind of sad. And it shows on this song and a few other tracks. Constantly Cute has no good hooks. It's annoying. And just the title, Constantly Cute? What the hell, Ace? Like, dude, this is not a good song. Sorry. This song sucks. Then we get into Life of a Stranger. This is a cover, I've heard. I believe. I think that's what people were saying online. And this song does not do much for me at all. Like, I've listened to this album about 3 to 4 times since it came out, and this song has not been able to stick in my head at all. Sorry, it's forgettable. Next. Up in the Sky. A little bit better. It's kind of, I think it's about, well, actually, I don't even know what this song is about. It kind of starts off like aliens, like Ace is talking about aliens up in the night sky, but then it kind of turns like religious a little bit, like he sees God or Jesus in the sky. It's kind of odd, but it's not a bad song, but then again, not that great either. It's better than the last 2 to 3 songs. Actually, I think it's the best song since Fighting for Life. And then we get into the last song on the album, Stratosphere. This is a nice instrumental. I like how Ace is keeping up the tradition of ending each album with an instrumental, or just having an instrumental in general on each album. And this one is very good. I like his solos, I like the atmosphere in it, and it's not that long. It's a good way to end the album. So overall, I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks on this album out of 11. Not a solid batting average. Sorry, Ace. Like I said, and anybody that's getting mad, I want to make it clear, I do not hate this album. I actually enjoy, like I said, I enjoy about half of it, but the other half I can do without. Who knows, maybe some of the tracks like Blinded or Up in the Sky might grow on me over time, but we'll see. But anyways, that concludes this not track by track, sorry. That concludes this pickups video. Sheesh. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making this, and I'm just happy to make another video again with you guys because it's been a while. The last one I did was like on New Year's Day, and I'm telling you, man, it's been a rough, I'm actually getting serious a little bit. It's been a rough last 3 months or not 3 months, 2 months for me and my family. Like we had a death in our family, and like having health issues. I'm not going to go too much deep into it, but we're going through a rough patch. But at least I have you guys that have been continuing to subscribe. We're almost there to 900 subscribers, so thank you for that. I have you guys. I have you guys on my mind, and seeing you guys like the TikToks I make and subscribing helps me appreciate that I'm staying relevant, and you guys haven't forgotten about me. And of course the music. Like I can't live without my music, and I'm just so happy to be back and recording a video for you guys. That's why this video is so long, is because I'm just happy to talk to you guys again. I just really appreciate it. So thank you all again for checking this video out. Let me know down in the comments what you think of these albums, especially the new Ace album. What do you think of it? And share this with the other metalhead friends that enjoy videos like this where people show off their latest pickups. But and if you are new here, watching me for the very first time, consider subscribing because I do make these videos once in a while. Granted, I am not consistent with my uploads at all because I'm very busy, but I do upload once in a while, like once a month, I think, with these kind of videos. I gotta do more. I know I say that all the time, but I will try and make an attempt. But please consider subscribing and sharing this with your friends and give this video a like so that way it could stay relevant. And anyways, guys, I appreciate you all again, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.